There we go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right. So, let's not do the Hanukkah blessings first off. We'll start in the book. How about turn to page 30? Right, so you have to excuse me because Linda?
Yeah,
So okay.
I'm out of town also. I'm
Right,
at
I know, but I just
at
wanted
my
to-
son's house.
I wanted to test your sound. So perfect. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Before we start, I like to test everybody's sound. Everybody, Eileen, I think you said something so I can hear you fine.
Excuse me?
I just want to be sure I can hear you okay.
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, great. All right, so if we're on page 30, we all recognize, right? Shalom Aleichem. We started with this early on. They actually gave you transliteration. You don't need that anymore. So I'm going to have you guys each read 2 lines, okay? A couplet. Mary Ellen, we'll start with you. Start at the top.
Shalom Aleichem Malakei Hashare, Malakei Elyon, Mi Melech Malakei Hamalakim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
Okay, I think on the second line, the third word, read that word one more time.
Hamalakim.
So under the lamed, there's an ah that you're not pronouncing. So hamlachim.
Okay. Okay. Hamlakim.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think you were skipping over that vowel under the lamed is all.
Okay. Okay.
Not a big deal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Linda, will you do lines 3 and 4?
Sure. Borachim l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon mimelech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu.
Yes, but I want you to say the first word one more time because I'm not sure if I heard it right.
Borachim.
So there's no resh in that word. It sounds like you're saying something with an R in it, and it's bo-achem.
Borachim. Okay.
Bo-achem. Yes, no resh in there. Connie, 5 and 6.
Barchuni l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon mimelech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu.
Lovely, thank you. Eileen, 7 and 8.
Say techem, tichem, l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu.
Excellent. You guys have been practicing that. That was lovely and very smooth. Your speed was so much faster. I don't know if you realized it, but I realized it. Okay, let's turn to page 34. And here's the blessing for Shabbat candles, right? On the top box on page 34. Mary Ellen, I know it's way too easy, but you're next on my screen. So will you read it in the
That's
box?
all right. I'll probably make a mistake, so it'll be fine. Baruch atah Adonai. Why am I doing that?
Why are you doing what?
I was thinking of something else. I was on the beam. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kiddushanu bo mitzvotav, Vitzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Perfect. Perfect. You were transported in your mind, apparently.
Yeah, a
To
day
the
ahead of time.
synagogue.
A day ahead of time, yeah.
It's okay. Um, Linda, let's turn to page 36.
Okay.
The box at the bottom of page 36. Will you read that?
Sure. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Perfect. Now it was identical to what Mary Ellen read, but I didn't tell you, and I just wanted you to look in a box and read to me. And you did it beautifully, and you did it again smoothly and in a nice pace. You guys have been really, working on this, I can tell. All right, so now let's turn to page 39. There's a box at the bottom of that page. Connie, will you read what's in the box?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Perfect, beautiful. Okay, let's see. Now we're gonna go to page 40. We're gonna read, I know we've already completed this, but we're gonna review these. I think are some really good lines to read. So Eileen, will you read lines 1 and 2 on page 40?
Hamvorach,
Mhm,
uvnei,
mhm.
Shabbat.
So the last word,
Shabbat.
thank you, Shabbat. There's no dot in there.
So used to saying Shabbat. That's what came out.
Well, and that's why, these are really good practice lines. He really kind of mixes it up a little. So do line 2 for me.
Baruch Hamvorah.
How does that word end? Yes, yes,
With a little sound of the ch.
right. There's that at the end, exactly. I wasn't sure if you had it in your, I just didn't hear it.
But is that that's not a gimel, is it? I'm trying to see that little, there's no little tail, is it? On that second letter?
The second letter is a nun.
A nun, okay, I couldn't see if it had a tail. B'nai, uvnei,
Good.
Shabbat, Shavat.
Exactly.
Shabbat.
Perfect. Excellent. All right, Mary Ellen, will you do lines 3 and 4?
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarak. Baruch Adonai Hamvarak Leolam Va'ed.
Beautiful. Thank you. Linda, 5 and 6.
Is that a
That's a kuf.
move?
Slow down. Okay, so it's a mem, a kuf, a dalid, and a shin.
That's why I wasn't sure if it was a D or a ray.
Yes, that one's a dalid.
Move.
So there's no.
Move.
So slow down a minute. So the vowel under the mem is a shava. So it's just going to have an M sound with a consonant M, no vowel, right? Then the kuf has a line under it as a ah.
Mukadesh.
Right, mekadesh.
Mukadesh. HaShabbat.
Very good.
Umva Yom. Shabbat.
So
Hashavi. Hashavi.
So slow down, hash, and then V.
Hashvi.
Hashvi'i, exactly.
Shabbat.
Shabbat. So that line is Uvayom Hashvi'i Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Yes. Okay. Connie, what does that take us to 7 and 8, I think?
Okay. Bayom, uvyom.
So there's a under the vet.
Oh, yeah, right. Uvayom,
There we go.
bayi. No.
Yes.
Baini.
Beni.
No, baini.
Yeah.
Baini.
Yes.
Uvain.
Yes.
Should I keep going?
Yes. I'm sorry. 7 and 8. Yes.
Ba'a hava.
Mm-hmm.
Uvratzon.
Exactly. Be'ahava uvratzon, which actually is the target phrase that's at the top of the page. And we're going to find it in the full kiddush when we get there. So that takes us to Eileen, lines 9 and 10.
Baratzon, uvratzon.
Mm-hmm.
Ahava,
Mm-hmm.
ahava.
So yes, I would say ahava, just so where I put the emphasis, but that's not to say that you're not right. That word has different meanings, different pronunciations, and then be'ahava. But yes, okay.
I didn't put the accent right on the buhava.
Actually, I put the accent, I think, be'ahava. Be'ahava. I put the accent on the hey, but I'm not sure I'm right. It could be be'ahava, put the accent on the last syllable. So I'm not positive here.
Okay.
It's okay. So that brings us to 11 and 12, Mary Ellen.
11. Vanu,
Mhm,
Vanu,
mhm,
Varatza,
mhm.
Vanu.
Right. Baratza Vanu. That's a phrase that we'll get to as well. Baratza Vanu. Go ahead. 12. Yeah.
Bereshit,
Mhm.
Bereshit.
Perfect. Exactly. So Linda, let's see. Why don't you do just 13?
Okay. Vanu, Asher, Kiddushanu, B'mitzvotov, V'ratza, Vanu.
Beautiful. See that? I'm so happy that you guys now see b'mitzvotav as a sight word. You see it, you know how to say it. Really great. Connie, you need to take line 14, otherwise I'll skip you and come back.
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
Ba'ahava, uvratzon, v'shabbat, kadsho. Ba'ahava, uvratzon.
Perfect. Okay, and Eileen, 15.
V'shabbat, kadosh,
Try again.
kadsh. That has a little T, I think. Kadosh ha.
Kad shecha.
Kadshacha.
There we go.
Okay.
You're right that the root of the word is kadosh, but in this case, they've added some syllables, right? Some vowels, so it's kad shecha.
Bu'ahava, uvratzon.
Very good. Excellent. Okay. So let's go to the next page, 41. And we'll start reading on line 2. Mary Ellen, will you do line 2?
Chai, Chayom, L'chayom, Torat, Chayom.
Look at that one.
Which one?
Torat. What's the word after Torat?
Hayom.
No, there's not. So there's a chirik, 1 dot under the first yud. Chayim.
Oh yeah, the M.
Oh,
Right.
Okay, yeah, Hayim.
Oh, so maybe I missed that. Maybe you mispronounced the one before it.
I probably
L'chaim.
did the whole thing. So let me try.
Maybe I was spacing out and I let you get away with it. So they're Hayim, not Hayom. Sorry.
So let me start over.
Okay.
Chayim,
Yes.
L'chaim,
There we go.
Torat, Chaim,
Mhm.
El Adonai.
Right. And now they make a little more sense about
Yes,
Torah, Chaim,
yes.
Torah's life. Yeah, exactly.
Because I forgot about the rule with the patak or the whatever and the
Is, I have a question on
Yeah.
the, with the two yuds there on the
Yes.
Hayim.
Yes.
The second yud, it's a silent?
So this is the second yud is making this plural, I believe, is the purpose of that
Oh.
yud.
Okay,
So in our pronunciation, it doesn't affect us at all.
because doesn't the mem sofit tell you it's, oh, you said plural, it makes it a plural?
It makes
Oh,
it a plural in this case, I believe, is the purpose of that yud. Yeah.
okay, but you don't say it.
No, it doesn't change the pronunciation.
Okay, that stumped me.
That was a good question. Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate you guys are careful like this. Linda, how about line 3?
I'm trying to, we're on page, I'm just
41.
41.
41, yeah, line 3.
Line 3. Hala, lehelem,
Try again, that second one.
lechem,
There we are.
menucha,
Yes.
menucha,
Mhm.
echar.
Is this
That's a dalet at the
word
end.
having sound, having
Oh,
time?
echad.
Are you
Okay.
sure? Okay,
Echad, yes.
Echad.
better turn this down.
Oh, we're too loud for someone.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Connie, can you do line 4?
Or, Heen help. Oh. He,
Want me to help you or
here,
can you?
let me just go. Okay. Heen Hilanu,
Perfect, there you are.
Heen Talanu,
Try again. So this third letter is still a chet with an under it, right?
Heen Haltanu.
There you are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tehila,
Yes,
Baharat.
you inverted the ending. So try it. Bahar,
Rata. Baharata.
Baharta.
Oh, Baharta. Oh, right.
Got it? Yeah.
Baharta.
There you go. Okay. Eileen, line 5.
Ahava,
Mm-hmm.
uv ratzon,
Yep.
hin chi lanu.
Exactly. Good. Mary Ellen, line 6.
Biahava,
Mm-hmm.
Uvratzon, Hin Kaltanu.
Exactly. Okay. That means Linda, line 7.
Tehila, hu, yom, tehila, yom, tehila, lemitzra, a.
Okay, so the third letter in that word is a kuf.
Oh,
That has a K
lemich.
sound.
Lemichra, he,
So you're very close.
lemikra, he.
Lamikra A. So
A.
the aleph has no
Right.
sound. You just say the vowel. Lamikra
Lemikra, a. Kodesh.
Exactly. There you go. Connie, I think that's you again, line 8.
Baharta.
Mhm.
Vanu. Baharta. Vanu. Baharta. Vio. Vio Tanu.
Mhm.
He Dashta.
Exactly. Vanu, Vaharta, Ve'otanu, Kidashta. That's a phrase we're going to come upon. Perfect. Okay. Eileen, how about line 9 all the way across?
For Shabbat, Kadosh,
Try do that one
No, wait.
slower.
Kadosh, that's an O at the, an O at the end.
Right.
Kadosh,
So
Kadosh,
slow down, slow down. So the Daled has a Shva under it, right? So the Dalet is just going to make a D sound on its own. It's the end of the syllable. And then you
Kacho,
there it is. Perfect.
for Shabbat, Kacho.
We'll try that one again.
Shocha,
So,
Shocha,
so that say that last phrase again, the 2 words.
okay. For Shabbat, Kad Shadcha.
Exactly.
Kad
Shabbat. Kad shecha. Yes, exactly.
Um,
Okay. Mary Ellen, line 10.
Biahava uvratzon. Biahava.
Oh, you got off too easy. Now you have to do 11.
I knew that. Heen kilanu.
Yes.
Heen kaltanu.
There you go. Okay, that evened out, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It did. Okay. All right, so let's turn the page to 42. What time is it? Oh, it's only 9:22. We're good. Okay. We're gonna be on page 42. So we know this letter, the kaf, right? We know it. We don't have to relearn it. So let's start with line 3 on page 42. And I believe, Linda, it's your turn.
Kila.
So
Mhm.
under, slow down, there's a straight
Oh,
line.
kala.
Kala, thank you.
Kala. Likrat. Likrat.
Mhm,
Kala.
mhm.
Licha.
Licha,
Licha. Dodi.
yes,
Likrat. Kala.
exactly. Licha, dodi, likrat, kala.
Kala.
Right? That's where we're heading at this point in terms of what prayer we're going to learn.
Mhm.
Connie, how about lines 4 and 5?
Kavod, kavod,
So there's a difference between the first word and
oh,
5.
yeah, kavod, yeah, kavod,
So
kavod,
there we go.
right?
Yes,
Kavod, malchuto.
perfect. Malchuto, kavod, malchuto. Nice.
Rachel, can I just ask a question? You said there was a difference between the words?
Line 4 to line 5. So line 4 is kavod, line 5 is kavod.
Oh, I thought you were on line. Sorry. Okay.
No, and I probably didn't finish what I was saying. Because she started to say the word nicely, and I think I cut myself off.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so Eileen, line 6.
Kamocha, mi chamocha.
So say the second phrase one more time.
Second phrase, mi.
What, the
Oh,
phrase.
Mi kamocha.
There you go. Perfect. You corrected yourself
You know
because
what
it
that
has,
is? You know what that happens? I think Mary Ellen said this at one point. You're used to singing it, and that's the way I remembered singing it. And so
Yep.
that's why I said that.
I understand completely. And that's why I wanted you to stop and see there's a dot in that letter so that it's a ka, not a cha.
I was singing it wrong all these years.
Don't worry about it. You know what? You're in great company with that, and it's fine. Hi, Audrey. Good to see you. We have your background back, but I can't hear you because you're muted.
Okay.
Now you're not muted. There you go.
I was
okay.
in a meeting with a bank manager.
Not to worry. So we are reviewing, and we're currently on page 42. And I'm going to give you a minute to find your spot, and I'm going to have Mary Ellen read line 7 on page 42.
Hanukkah,
Mhm.
Ner, Shel, Hanukkah.
Perfect. Linda, how about line 8, please?
Chi, chin,
So hold on,
He,
slow down. So that first word in line 8 is actually key, because
Key.
there's a dot in there. It sounds more
Okay.
like a K.
Okay, ki, heim, hayenu.
Right, so this is a great phrase here. Ki heim chayenu. We have all the different kinds of guttural K, C, H, H, right? Ki heim, because that's a hey, and then chayenu, because that's a chet, right?
Right.
You did it right.
little-
I'm just going over it. So
Yeah, the little
Yes.
yays always stop me, but I actually did it. I'm shocked.
you did it beautifully.
Very good.
You never know it. And you know, I feel like when we get these combinations, it's good for me to point them out. So Connie, do line 9, please.
Ki, hu, yom, tehila.
Beautiful. Eileen, 10.
Ki, hu, yom, tahila,
Mhm.
lami kada.
You keep
Oh, yeah.
wanting to,
That's the one with the, where you said like the EYE at the end. A,
so say that word again.
lamikra A.
Perfect.
Kadesh.
Kodesh, exactly. Kodesh. So Kihu Yom Tehila, the Mikra E Kodesh.
So
A phrase right out of Kiddush. Okay. And then Audrey, line 11.
Michal,
Mhm.
Michal,
So that's a K. That's a hard K sound because there's a
Michal.
dot in there.
okay, Michal, ha'emim,
Okay. So
ha'amim.
thank you. Ha'amim. Perfect. You want to do line 12 too, since you haven't had much reading yet?
Yeah, I need it. He, oh, is Vanu,
Yes.
Bakaret,
So slow down.
Bakarata.
Yes, except the resh doesn't, that shva is going to be silent. It's the end of the syllable. So it's just bacharta. There we go. Bacharta. Good. Mary Ellen, how about line 13, please?
But you did say V, Vaharta, right?
Vaharta. There's
Okay.
yes. Didn't I say Vaharta?
I wasn't sure because it's computer hearing.
It's okay.
Thank you. Ki, Vanu,
Mhm.
Varta,
Yep.
Mikal, Ha'amim.
Beautiful. Perfect. Okay. Let's keep going down the page and do the words in this sort of column box. Okay. And we'll go straight across. So the letters above the columns are Kuf, Kaf, Chaf, Chet, Hey. Right? Everyone knows these? Everyone's got that?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, Linda, will you read the first line going across?
Okay. Likrat,
Yes.
kala, kala.
So here you don't have the dot.
Oh,
So it's
akla,
no. So
kala.
so this first letter is a chaf. So it has that
Chala,
guttural chala, exactly.
chala. Hala,
Mhm.
hale. Halele? Is it-
Hallel.
Hallel.
Yeah.
Hallel.
Yeah. Okay. So the last three well, I shouldn't say that. Never mind. Let's just keep going.
The
Yes,
two-
Eileen.
The two in the middle, I'm not hearing the difference in sound on the
Right, so-
first letter.
So when you say in the middle, I'm not sure if you mean column 3.
In the first one across,
Yeah,
the third word and the fourth word.
the third, right. So those two words are going to be pronounced exactly the same. Chala and chala.
Yeah, I heard them the same. I didn't know.
That's right. I would say them the same.
So you'd only know in context what they mean if you were saying,
Correct.
using those words.
Correct. Yes. Connie, will you do the middle line in this chart?
Mhm. Kadosh. I'm starting over. Kadosh.
Mhm.
Kamocha.
Yes,
Chamocha.
yes.
Cha.
Chai, life.
Oh yeah.
Chai.
Hi. Ha. Ah.
So,
Ha. Ah.
so the yud actually sounds like a Y here, and it starts with a hey sound.
Haya.
Haya, exactly.
Haya.
Perfect. There you
Haya.
go. Very nice. Eileen, do the last line.
Cow.
No, try again. That's a O.
Oh, coal. Coal.
Yes,
Cow.
yes.
Kalal.
Go slower. You have the right sounds.
Kochal. Kochal.
Kachal.
Your heel. Your heel. Is
Yachil.
that a head or a hay?
It's a chet. It's a chet.
Okay. Yeah, heel.
Exactly.
Elohim.
Exactly. Very nice. Good. So, so I see the difference obviously with these newer words, combinations, whatever, that aren't as familiar to you guys. And so you're sounding them out, as opposed to when we first started and you guys were going so fluently with words that you were so familiar with. And that's how it's going to be. And that's the whole point of him using, prayers from Friday night that are familiar to so many of us, right? And then when you get to the advanced beginner class, I'm actually not sure what the curriculum is, but I think a lot of it is Shabbat morning service prayers, which again will sound familiar, and you'll get much smoother at actually reading the words as your head tells you, I recognize all of this.
Another benefit, Rachel, is that I'm finding that if I lose my place, I can find the next word easier than I could ever do before. Like
Precisely.
I really lost.
Exactly. And I'm so pleased about that. And I think that's another kind of point of pride that you guys should have, because it means you can recognize the sound with the letters, with, everything. It comes together and you can find your place. So I think that's great. All right, so let's go to page 43. Oh, you know what? Let's go right to page 45. Let's skip all of this lovely phrases and let's go to the Kiddush in page 45. Okay? Because we've done this before. I know we have. And I believe it was homework to be reading it. So what the hey, let's go to it. Audrey, I think you're up. Would you please read the first line? And I might actually have you read the first 2 lines in the box on page 45.
All right. Baruch, is that, no.
Yes, you're fine.
Oh, okay. Ata Adonai. Okay. Eloheinu. And why is that, why are that's not a shva. Why are those 2 dots under the olive?
Aleph, it is a shva and another vowel. And I think it's just to emphasize, you put the emphasis there, Eloheinu, as opposed to further in the word. But other than that, I can't tell you why that has a double vowel.
So I
And
didn't do
I
that.
find
Okay.
that, I find that in Elohim and Eloheinu, it's usually.
Yeah, very common. It's how they spell it, but I don't have the etymology. I'm sorry, I can't
But-
explain.
But we're not emphasizing it. We're emphasizing the new, I think, Eloheinu. Oh, the hay. We're emphasizing the hay.
Well, Eloheinu as opposed to Eloheinu, I think we're pronounced, whatever, don't worry about it, okay?
Okay.
No one is going to
I won't,
make fun of you on
Because
that.
because of the accent.
No, they're not going to.
Okay, Eloheinu, Melech HaOlam, Borei, Pri,
Mhm. Pari,
Agafen.
Hagafen, right? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei Pari Hagafen. Right? There's lots of different ways to say the end there, but I won't go crazy with you. You understood what I was saying. I am not a chazan. I don't sing well. Okay, why don't you do one more line for us?
All righty. Baruch, Atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Melech HaOlam, Asher Kiddushanu.
Perfect, thank you. Mary Ellen, will you pick up and do the next line?
B'mitzvotav v'ra'at
Try
vanu.
again. There's
V'ra'at zat.
sa, viratsa.
With-
You inverted it. You viratsa.
V'ratza.
There you go.
V'ratza vanu.
Yes.
V'shabbat kaddish kadsho
Perfect.
v'yahava uvratzon.
Very nice. Thank you. Linda, this next line, it's the fourth line in the box.
Fourth line. Hin hilanu,
Nice.
zecher.
No, no, read the word that's there.
Oh, zikron,
Zikaron.
zikaron, le maatse, vereshit, ki hu yom tehillah.
Very nice. Thank you. Connie, the
Great.
next, will you do the next line?
Mhm. Lamikra Kodesh.
So do that first word one more time. I think I missed a syllable.
Lamikra I did, I
Yeah.
left it off. Lamikra a Kodesh.
Yes.
Zeker Litziat Mitzrayim Ki Vanu Baharta.
Beautiful. Thank
Yeah, really good.
you. Eileen, will you do the next line?
V'otanu kidashta mi kal ha'atmim v'shabbat kadosh
There's that word again.
Oh,
Slow down.
kacha. But that's the one I missed last time.
Yeah.
Kacha.
Kadshecha.
Ba'ahava.
Right. Good. Audrey, will you finish what's in the box?
I would. Okay, that's a vu and not an oo. That's a vu.
It's ooh. It's ooh.
It
It
It is an oo. Okay. Uvratzon.
Mhm.
Hina hala tanu.
So say the word together.
Hina hal tanu.
Hin chaltanu. Yes.
Hin hal tanu. Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Very nice. Okay. Excellent. All right. So let's I'm gonna share my screen. 1 second, I'm just gonna make this bigger before I start sharing. So you can see it really well. Okay, can you see my screen?
Mhm.
Did I
Yeah,
make it even bigger?
That's fine.
it doesn't need to. That's fine.
Smaller, please.
Now it's big, yes?
That's huge,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay,
Good.
good. Well, because I want you to, okay, so these are the 3 blessings for the Hanukkah candles. The first one should be pretty familiar. And Mary Ellen, you're at the top of the boxes, so I'm going to have you read the prayer here in the top box.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav vitzivanu
Mhm,
dlik ner
mhm.
Hanukkah.
Perfect, exactly. Baruch atah Adonai.
So the printing, I know the typeface has got me a little thrown, but
Right.
you know,
And yeah, it's, you know, I
It's-
tried to find.
it's
the-
okay. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I searched, I had to cut and paste this because all of them have transliteration, which I was
Yeah.
not about to put on my screen for my students.
Of course
Not
not.
happening.
Of course not. Don't give us any help.
No, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you at all. So,
We don't need
but
notes.
I decided that this is very close to when I type on my computer Hebrew letters, right? So I figured you guys would be able to get it, but you read it perfectly.
Yeah, I lucked out. Okay.
Well, so Linda, I'm going to have you read the same thing, the top box.
Same
Okay.
one, okay.
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvah tov v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah.
Perfect. Right. So this one right here, y'all see where this Vitsivanu. I don't know what that dot is doing in there, but you didn't mess you up. So that's good. Anyway, I'm sorry. I apologize for that dot. Connie, will you read this middle prayer?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim.
Yes.
Don't know that I would have known that if I didn't know that part of the prayer. Nisim la'ato.
Slow down. You,
La, what is that?
there's a vet.
Yeah.
La'avo,
Oh,
oh, la'avotanu,
this is an A under here.
la'ave, la'avenu,
So la a vo tenu.
okay.
Okay.
I guess the letters throw me. La'avotenu.
Mhm. Now this word is not, this is added for us egalitarian.
Women.
Exactly. So this is for our fathers. This is va'imotenu.
Oh,
So
I've
this
never-
isn't how I learned the prayer, but this is certainly
Imotenu,
in many synagogues now they add the ve'imotenu and our foremothers, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Ba'amim,
This yud is going to sound like
bayamim,
bayamim.
ha'aim,
This is another hey,
ha'aim,
hahem, right?
ba,
Oh, so this is a Zion. This is a little
Azman, yeah,
that.
Azman Hazeh.
Exactly, Bazman Hazeh. So you got a challenging one, but you soldier through. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim la'avotenu. We're going to skip this word. Bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. So you should recognize the sound of that, right? If we were to read it the other way, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim la'avotenu ve'imotenu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. Okay? All right. Eileen, how about you read what was in the box, this same box? We're just going to do it one more time.
And that's the part of the blessing I never could say.
Well, this is a good practice.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'atza
Yes,
nisim
yes,
la'avotenu
yes.
va'imotenu
Beautiful.
bayamim
Yes,
hahem batzman hazeh
Zeh.
hazeh.
hazeh, bazman hazeh. Got it? Perfect. Lovely. Okay. Now this prayer, the last one is the Shechechianu. Audrey, will you start here?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sha'ah
Slow down.
sha'eh chayanu. That can't be right.
Shehecheyanu.
Okay. Yanu.
There you go.
Vekimanu.
Yeah.
Vehigiyanu.
Yes.
Lazman hazeh.
Very good. Right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
Could you email us the PDF of this so
Yeah,
we can see the
absolutely.
woman one?
I'd be happy to send this to you. More than happy to send it to you.
That'd be great.
So interesting trivia tidbits, not really trivia, it's a tidbit. So I was going to pull out a dreidel, but I didn't. But, on the dreidel now, we have the nun, the gimel, nes gadol, a hey for haya, and a shin for sham, nes gadol haya sham. When you buy a dreidel in Israel, it's different. It's nes gadol haya po. The last letter is a pei, not a shin. So that's just a tidbit.
We were.
Go ahead.
My synagogue had a trip to Israel in 1918. 1918.
And you went. What?
In 2018, we left at the very end of November and we're there in December for all of Hanukkah. So we learned that firsthand. It was really beautiful.
I understand that being in Israel for Hanukkah is just enchanting, is what I hear, with all of the Hanukkiot, in these little cutouts in people's entryways, doorways, walls, whatever. I've seen video of it. I've never been there for it.
Well, and you're talking about the old city, and that was phenomenal. There's a big light display that's supposed to happen in Jerusalem, but it poured, which is rare. But so we didn't go, but I don't think it actually occurred. Anyway, sorry, just interjected that, but I love the bit about the dreidel.
Yeah, it's cool.
My rabbi went to Tel Aviv during Hanukkah and sent us a video of what he saw. And even in a bar where they were serving beer, the taps were set up like a menorah.
Oh, that's great.
They showed us in a shoe store, they were lighting candles. It was like all over the place.
It is. It's all over the place. You know what? Again, I know I said I wouldn't do anything new, but I'm going to challenge you. Turn to page 49 in your book. Oh, I'm going to stop sharing. Let's get
I
rid of
want to ask a
it.
question about the Zion in the prayer.
So did you want me not to stop shit? You want to see what's on my screen? Your question have to do with this document?
Yeah, what's on your screen now? You
Yeah.
always, in this prayer, I took out an old one that I had for my children. And the Zion always has that little dot there.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know why it's there. Obviously in our prayer book, in our textbook, that's not the typeface. I will tell you, I'm going to stop sharing so we can go back to where we were. The one thing that I used to get confused about as a young Hebrew script writer was the Zion and the Gimel. In script, they're written virtually the same, except one faces this way and one faces this way, okay? And, once you get used to it, you get used to it. I imagine for American students with dyslexia, it was the worst thing in the world to try and figure that out, honestly. But in typeface, not handwritten script, but typeface, I never found the Zion and the Gimel or anything else confusing. So in that particular typeface, I don't know why that dot is there.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, so let's look at page 49. Let's look in the box. It's the Shema. And I know we haven't gotten to this page technically, but I know you guys can read part of this. Because let me just see. So we learned the Zion, we learned the Tet. There's no new letters needed to read what's in this box, I don't think. So let's just give it a go. So Audrey, will you read the first line?
Yes, if you will tell me again what page we're on.
Oh, we're on page 49 in the box.
Okay, thanks. 49 in the box. I know this is gonna, we all know this. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Perfect, thank you. Mary Ellen, will you read the little type, the second line?
Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Thank you, very perfect. Linda, let's do the next line. So it's the third line going across.
V'ahavta et Adonai Eloheinu.
Look at the word.
Adonai Eloheinu Elohech. Wait, that's not an N. Elohech. Elohech.
Hecha.
Echad.
Hecha. Right.
Echa.
Hecha.
B'chal v'ahavcha.
Slow down. B'chol, you got the b'chol, right?
B'chal.
Lamed. Yeah, there we go.
Vecha.
No, so the second vet is
Leva.
just going to have a V sound. So you've kind of got a va plus a vu. Levavcha.
Levacha. Uvchal. Lefa.
No, so it starts with a nun there. So you've got uvchal, and then it starts with a nun. Naf.
Nefash.
So naf.
Lefashcha.
So you're adding a lamed. The lamed is the
end
of the word before.
Nefash.
So naf. So you've got nun with the a under it. Naf, because the fe just has a shva. So the fe is
nefash.
So naf.
Nevash.
You're still inverting the word. Okay, let's go letter by letter. So na, that first letter is nun with an a. Na. So you're not breaking the word into the right syllables. So the first syllable is two letters. The first two letters, naf, and then
Nafshecha.
There it is.
Nafshecha. Uvchal.
That's it.
Uvchal.
Uvchal, you can stop right
Uvchal.
there. Okay, Connie, can you pick up the next line?
So Rachel, can you read that again,
Me-
maybe?
Oh, yes, I'll read that line, okay?
After we do our lines, maybe?
Yes, I'll read them, okay. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chal levavcha uv'chal nafshecha uv'chal. Connie, will you pick up there?
Miodecha v'hai you
Mhm.
hadavarim ha'ela asher Elohi
Mm-mm. No, look at the word ah.
Elo
Slow down. Under the aleph is a ah,
oh
and there's a nun with a
oh
dot.
right Eno
Ano.
Anochi
There it is. Anochi.
Anochi Mitzavcha
Yep.
Hayom.
Yes. So I'll repeat this line. Me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom. I think, Eileen, that brings me to you.
I'll,
Excuse me, everyone. I'm going to have to say goodbye. But
Okay,
this
Connie.
has
Bye,
been good, and I'm
honey.
so glad I tuned in.
Thank you.
Happy
Travel safe
Hanukkah.
when you go
Bye,
Have
home.
a
Shabbat
good
shalom.
holiday.
Yes.
Shalom.
Good
Happy day
Hanukkah.
after Thanksgiving too.
You too.
Okay, Eileen, you're on. Yep.
levachecha.
Levavecha.
Wait. I'll levavecha.
Yes.
Vashi
Yes. So,
nanetam.
so my book has a big smear. So there's two nuns there, right? Mary Ellen, can you tell us the vowels under these nuns? Because mine is just a big black blotch.
Mine too.
Under the nun, sorry, because which
Yeah,
one?
the first nun, Vashinan Tam, I believe the first nun has one dot. No, Vashinan,
No, it's the
That's-
line
a line,
and then a shva.
and then two dots, a shva under the second nun. So
Yes.
Vashinan Tam,
Yes.
okay?
You didn't say that?
I don't know what you said. I just want, in case your book was as bad as mine,
Oh,
I
no.
happen to know the
I have a
word.
good book.
Okay.
Levanecha.
Ne, levanecha.
Necha. Vadi. Barta.
Yes.
Bam.
Mhm.
Vashi. Vashiv. Wait. Does
Mhm.
the vet, because it has the two dots, does that syllable go with the letter before? Is it Vashiv?
Yes,
Vashiv techa.
exactly.
Bave techa.
Beautiful. You did that perfectly. All right, I'll read it back. Al levavecha, veshinantam levanecha, vedibarta bam, beshivtecha bevetecha. Okay, I think we're going to stop here. You guys did great, really beautifully. Mary Ellen told me that if her grandson woke up, she was going to have to go. Yep, grandson just woke up. Okay, so not a problem. He was sleeping and she heard him. Okay, so next week we are going to start on page 47, which I know is a little past where we just went, but that doesn't matter. It's always good for us to read real prayers, and that's what I thought we should do. So thank you all for taking the time today.
Thank you.
Thank you
It
so
was-
much.
It was
Thank
my
you, Rachel.
pleasure. I'm going to send an email just with the brachot for the Hanukkah candles, and I'll send it today. On Tuesday, well, the recording should be up. I guess I'll send it because I always send it.
Thank
And I'll
you.
remind everyone, that we're going to start on page 47, and I'll remind everyone to keep practicing because that's what I do.
Thank you.
Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Take care.